Okay, so I'm creating a video for project number 2. I thought I should probably get this together for you guys so that you can get started on it. The file's due in Brightspace by Sunday, April 4th before 11:30 p.m. That's a Sunday. And it's 10% of your overall grade. And I have to say, this project's going to be a little bit more straightforward than project number 1, the one that we did that was due February 28th. So let me just kind of walk you through the assignment, and hopefully this will help clarify any of the questions you might have about it. But if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Send me an email, text me, whatever you need to do. So for this project, you will locate a piece of local public art and write a formal critique about it using one of the 3 theories of art criticism listed in Chapter 5 of our text. So basically what we covered in Chapter 5 was writing about art and the 3 theories of art criticism and how you can kind of evaluate an art in a formal way, basically, or in a written way. So if you're not sure what public art is, it's pretty easy to understand. It's not too difficult. So just check out this following web page here. You can copy and paste this into your browser window and just read through the information to get a better idea of what public art is and why it's important. And you can also just Google this and, read up about it from multiple websites. You don't just have to use this one link, but I just felt like this one link was kind of a credible link to learn about public art quickly. So make sure you find a piece of public art that is local to you and where you actually live. I know some of you, this is an online course, so some of you don't live in Havre, where I'm at, but wherever you're at, almost every community has at least one piece of public art. So a lot of times it's either going to be a sculpture or a mural. There might be some other things out there that constitute public art that aren't sculptural or mural paintings. But whatever you find that is considered public art, just make sure that it's a local piece. And remember, if you don't know what it is, just do some outside research online, read up about it in the link, and just do whatever you can to try and understand what public art is. With the internet these days, we can really do a lot of education on these simple things ourselves too. So don't be afraid to kind of do some outside research. So once you've located this piece of public art that's local to you, you want to write about for this project, go ahead and take a picture of it with your phone and make sure to include yourself in it. I want to actually make sure that you were there in person and that it's a piece of art that's local to you. So definitely include yourself with the artwork if possible. You will be docked points if you aren't in the picture with the piece of public art. And you may need help from a friend with this, or you can just prop up your camera against something and use a timer. Most of us have smartphones. This is totally possible to do with a smartphone, as long as you have something you can prop it up with. I don't want an image pulled from online. That's my main thing. I really want it to be something that you went and saw yourself, and I want evidence of that. I want evidence that you actually visited the work in person. And I would highly suggest going ahead and taking multiple pictures of this piece of work from every angle possible, just so you can use these additional photos of the artwork as reference for writing your formal critique. So basically, once you get that photo of yourself with the artwork, and then any additional photos of different angles of the artwork that you've chosen that's local to you, this is where you would write the formal critique on the artwork. There should be at least 3 paragraphs with at least 6 sentences in each paragraph. So I don't want 3 sentence paragraphs. So definitely go into detail. Go above and beyond. Write more than 6 sentences if you want. Actually have fun with this. Have fun exploring, what this piece is about. Have fun with this process. If you need to, do some outside research online. Maybe visit your local library or call your local library or email your local library or your local art museum to find out anything you can about the work. So outside research is definitely encouraged. If you can gather additional information about the work This may help you interpret it better, and also just include any interesting details you can about the work somewhere in your 3 paragraphs is a great idea. Not super necessary, but like if you want to mention a couple of things about the work that are just mostly just interesting, but not necessarily part of the 3 steps here, that is fine and actually encouraged. If you're not able to locate information about the public art you have found, you can still use it for this project. You just really need to back up your ideas with evidence. So evidence would be in the form of visual characteristics of the artwork. Think about the features and the form, the color, those kinds of things that have to do with the actual way the work looks, and interpret what that might mean. Some interpretation is encouraged. Just do it wisely and explain why you think what you think. I have outlined what I'm looking for in each of the 3 paragraphs. This follows what we learned in Chapter 5, but I just went into a lot more detail to clarify the process for you, because the last time we tried to write about art, some of you did really well, but some of you just didn't quite understand what I was trying to get out of you. And I'm not sure if you did the assignment before you read the chapter, or if you just didn't read the chapter at all. Not saying all of you did that, but some did. And so I'm really outlining it in great detail here in this worksheet, just to clarify the process for you. And don't forget, if you have further questions or confused, looking at Chapter 5, in the book and just kind of reading through that a little bit can also help you with this process. And also just online research, can also help. But I did notice, like, when I do online research with art criticism, like writing about art, every website you might go to has a different way of doing it. And I'm kind of wanting you to follow what we learned in the book, our specific book for this class. So honestly, reading Chapter 5, referencing Chapter 5 will help you probably the most with this assignment. But I think I've done a pretty good job of really asking for what I'm looking for here. So paragraph 1 is the easiest. Get the facts about the work: name of the creator, title, date, subject, medium, size, and location of work. If reproduction, clarify the original medium and size. Most of these probably won't be, since it's public art. So analyze is paragraph 2. Talk about the parts of the work and how they fit together. Talk about its composition. List and explain the formal elements of art. You can reference the chapter, one of the earlier chapters in the book. Talk about the principles of design present in the work. You can look at the chapter on the principles of design. Explain the artwork's context and the artist's input. Determine what the features of the art suggest and decide whether the artist used such features to convey specific ideas. Try to answer the question, why did the artist create it and what does it mean? Some interpretation will be necessary in this step. Just make sure you can back up your interpretation with facts about the work. So there may be features present that support your interpretation. If so, list those, talk about them. There may be a plaque or an artist statement available for you to reference. More than likely there will be some sort of year and title and artist, and you can probably look at the work and figure out what it's made out of. Since we have learned about the different mediums, it might even be listed on the artist plaque as well, the medium. And there may even be an artist statement available for you to reference, or even information online. Like I stated above, outside research is definitely encouraged. So paragraph 3 is the evaluation process. So you basically assess the quality or importance of the work in relation to an art criticism technique. So you just need to choose one, either formal, contextual, or expressive. And then remember to choose one technique and use that to write this entire 3rd paragraph. You need to take some sort of stance on the work or express some sort of opinion about the work, and then back it up with facts about the work in this step. Remember, so the formal critique is focused on whether the work was innovative for its time. It has a lot to do with the form of the work and the way it was made, and its purely visual aspects or technique rather than like the narrative content or its relationship to the visible world. So for the formal technique, for example, you can write about how the form of this work was innovative for its time. Maybe the artist was using an entirely new technique, something like that. Or if you pick the contextual theory, maybe you write about why the work was important for like reflecting a certain time period. So a lot of public art might actually be really specific to its time period and, you know, talk about maybe a social or cultural issue. So contextual might actually really fit into that pretty well. So that might be a good one to use. If you pick the expressive theory, you can tell us how successful this work is at expressing or portraying the unique individual feelings and emotions of the actual artist. So expressive really has to do with the artist that made the piece. So finally, just make sure you embed the image of you with your chosen public artwork above your 3 paragraphs, and turn in your assignment for a grade in Brightspace by the due date at the top of this worksheet, which is Sunday, April 4th, before 11:30 p.m. And finally, embed an image of you with your, oh, sorry, I already said that. Just make sure, you can use whatever word processor you want, but just make sure the file you submit is either a PDF or a Word document. You would obviously, you know, you have to use Word to get the Word document, but if you're using like Google Docs or any other program, just make sure you export or save as a .pdf, you know, a PDF extension file type for Brightspace for a grade. And that's basically the gist of this assignment. It's actually fairly straightforward. That, you know, it's kind of a long video I'm making. I should have maybe gone a little bit faster with it. But anyway, I just really wanted to cover all the details with this thing so that you guys really understand what's going on. And let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, we have quite a bit of time to actually work on these. I'm just going to set it underneath this project here. And yeah, it's due April 4th, so basically within week 11, the end of week 11. And then we'll start on that next project that will be due probably about right here. So, all right, well, talk to you guys later. Like I said, let me know if you have any questions.